Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm bored. COVID made me bored, and today I'm going to play Transformers trading card game. This is a trading card game that is no longer in print. It was produced by Wizards of the Coast. I believe they stopped production of this TCG either early this year or late last year. And it went through, I think, 2 or 3 years of production. They came out in what they called waves. So from wave 1 to wave 5. And in terms of the components, it started off with wave 1, very, very basic, introducing the mechanics, having your Autobots and Decepticons, moving through to adding new mechanics and new features, I think, through each wave. I think the second wave had, and it's all based on some of the animated series on Netflix, especially I think in their third and fourth waves. Their second wave had combiners, I believe. So you had the ability to combine certain robots, like the aerial bots, Constructicons, Predacons, and they could form their larger counterpart, Gestalt. And then they moved into sort of Battle Masters, which were Transformers that could transform into weapons and upgrades. And then I think the last wave was Headmasters, or the Headmasters or Titan Masters series. So it's a collectible card game, so you could definitely get a few starter packs. I started off getting a starter pack with Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Ironhide, and Red Alert. And I love Transformers. I grew up with Transformers. I watched the Originals 80s show on TV every weekend, followed right through the 5 seasons. I cried in the movie when Optimus died, spoiler alert, and I'm a big fan. I haven't watched Transformers since Beast Wars back in the 90s, and then I did start watching the Netflix series when they brought it back. I preferred that type of animation, that style. I didn't really follow Transformers Prime or all the other Cyberverse or all those other more kid type shows. I enjoyed the type of artwork and animation that I grew up with. So in Transformers TCG, you have a wide range of characters. Some of these characters I've never heard of, and I'm sure they're from other versions or iterations of the animated series. But the familiar ones like Optimus and Lord Megatron, or Megatron as they call, as Megatron's depicted here, they call Lord Megatron. I don't know why they have these titles, but aside from that, it's Megatron, Optimus, Jetfire, the Constructicons, the Insecticons, all the ones I grew up with. They're all in this set. I went out and got a booster box so I could create a variety of battles between my favorite characters. And I created 2 different decks, one for Autobots and one for Decepticons. You can mix and match. There's nothing stopping you from having a Decepticon and an Autobot fight side by side. Thematically, I prefer it this way because that's how I grew up with. And there is no restriction in that sense. The only difference would be some battle cards or some cards that you're playing do reference either Autobots or Decepticons, and depending on how you set it up, you can create a team of Autobots or Decepticons that have some synergy. Just like other TCGs, you can build your deck, build your characters, or collect your characters, form your team, so that there's a nice synergy across them between their abilities and the abilities of the cards. This is definitely not competitive. I put together a relatively casual deck, and I just randomly choose whichever Transformers I feel like playing with, and I battle it out. So when you are looking at the different characters, obviously there are Autobots and Decepticons, and there's a third faction, I believe, from the animated series for the mercenary group, and they are neither Autobots or Decepticons. They are, as a mercenary is, always looking out for themselves first. So they can potentially be on the Autobot side or the Decepticon side, and there is they belong to no particular faction. They are a faction of their own. In the trading card, you'll have large character cards. This is a large character, Optimus, and there are ones that are oversized, which are actually, I think, 4 of these cards or more put together. And I don't have it with me right now, but I do have Metroplex and Trypticon, and I'll probably do a nice video battle between those two. And then you have the smaller Autobots, or Decepticons, smaller Transformers, and they're just, the little vehicles like Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, that size. And then you also have Transformers, which are called Battle Masters, and these are the ones that will transform into a weapon as opposed to a vehicle. So this is their robot mode. So each card or each character has 2 modes: their alt mode, which is their vehicle mode, and then they have on the other side their robot mode or bot mode. And they have, on one side at least, a nice sort of foil treatment to the surface, and it's actually pretty nice. I like that. And I think the artwork is really great. It's a lot of detail. It's not the full size of the card, but it's enough to really admire the artwork. And for each side, you'll see there's multiple descriptions as well as stats. You have a title of the character and the type of character they are. So Optimus is an infantry leader. It shows that he's a leader card. It shows that the type of vehicle he is a truck, and as well as the type of character in terms of combat, he is a melee combat character. Some of it matters when it comes to card references. You'll also have his attack value in orange, an indicator saying which side or which mode he's in. This is his alt mode, and his hit points, and his defense in blue. This is the defense stat that he has, and usually some kind of ability. Not all characters have abilities, but some of them do, and some of them are triggered depending on when you flip to the side versus something that's perpetual. And there's a little reference to the stats of his other side, his robot side, so that you can quickly reference what are the differences, and mainly it's attack and defense. That's a difference in addition to a different ability. So when you flip over, you'll see that his attack has increased, his hit points stay the same, which makes sense, and his defense value is down 1. But he has additional bonuses here, which I will explain later. There's several keywords throughout the game that you need to reference, but once you know them, it's pretty easy to remember. The same thing for the smaller Transformers. They have a bot mode side and an alt side, and they again have their stats as well. And you can see, comparatively speaking, it's trying to stay true to form, or to the theme of it, where Optimus is a large vehicle and this little minivan is a small vehicle. And for the Battle Master, you'll see he has his stats and abilities and description, but the difference is he starts off, when you start the game, you always start off in alt mode, always in their vehicle mode, except for Battle Masters and other cards depending on their condition. It'll tell you a Battle Master begins in bot mode and cannot be flipped. When it's KO'd, you automatically play its upgrade side. So you'll see that if Lionizer is KO'd, he will automatically turn or transform into a weapon upgrade, which you can immediately attach to any one of your characters. So that's kind of a cool thing about these Battle Masters when they introduce them. So same thing for the Decepticons. They've got them there. You also notice that at the bottom, there's also a set of stars. This is sort of their star ranking. When you're creating a team of Transformers, Autobots, Decepticons, or Mercenaries, you will be combining a maximum of 25 stars on your team. No more than that. You can have less. You don't have to have exactly 25, but you definitely can't have more. So in my team here, you'll notice that I do have one more Autobot compared to the Decepticons: 5, 10, 15, 20, 24, 25, I think. Oh no, I think I have too many. Oh, so I'll take one away. I have 22 points here. Sorry, I miscalculated. So I think I would I'm going to keep this one. Actually, no. I'll keep this one. So 5, 10, 15, 19, 20, 22. And for the Decepticons, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. So just 1 star more, not a big deal. And I have my deck of cards for each side. And aside from that, except for Battle Masters, everybody else has to start on their bot side, or sorry, their alt side. And in the cards in your deck of, I think the minimum is 40. There is no maximum. Certain Autobots or certain Transformers, they do sort of work better with fewer cards in your deck, whereas others may benefit from just a standard size. I don't recall if there is a maximum, but I think average is 40 cards. So my decks are about 50 or 60 cards, and you'll have 2 main types of cards: action cards and upgrade cards. Those are really the 2 main ones. And both of them have sort of a subgroup. So for example, I have an action card here and another action card here. And let me pull out some of the different upgrade cards. So the first type of card is an action card, and there are 2 types. You have a standard action, and it usually is a one-time effect or a one-time ability as you play it. And you also have what's a secret action. A secret action actually tells you what to do. And that's the one nice thing I like about these cards. They actually have in italics what the term means or what you need to do. So you don't really have to always reference a rule book. It actually provides that information here. So you play this card face down at the end of your opponent's turn. You put it into your scrap pile. And a secret action is where you have it out in the field, and you don't reveal it unless its trigger is triggered. So here you would reveal the card when one of your character is defending. So you'll also notice that aside from the description and the text, you'll see, and obviously the graphic work, you'll see that there are different colored pips on the top right. Every card has a pip. Some don't, but it's most of the time there is a pip there. And there are, I think, 5 different colors: black, blue, green, white, and orange. And I'll explain what those mean in a second, but you can see here the 3 colors. And then you have your upgrade cards. Your upgrade cards come in 3 flavors: weapon, utility, and armor. And they also will indicate the description here and what this ability does. And you are essentially attaching it to your character when you play it. And these ones also have pips. And I'll explain what those pips mean. There's one that's white, and let me try to find a green one, and a green one. So that's perfect. So your cards from your deck serve dual purpose. They serve as actions and upgrades, and they also serve as defense and attack augmentation when you are defending or attacking. On a player's turn, like most trading card games, you will choose a character when you're attacking, declare your attacker, and declare who you are attacking. In Transformers TCG, except for the very first turn, most of your turns will be selecting a character that you want to attack, and you can only attack someone that is tapped. And you would be tapping your character for attack, and you'd only be able to declare a defender who is tapped. In this situation, let's just say, for example, this one is tapped. So if this was a situation here and Optimus wants to attack, I would tap Optimus, declare him as the attacker, and I'm going to target Caliburst for my attack. So that's how it works. On the very first turn, whoever is going first, we'll say again, Optimus is going to attack. He would tap, and it's a free-for-all. I can choose any person. Because no one's tapped on the opponent's side, I can choose any one of them to tap unless they have an ability that prevents it. And in this case, Roadhugger over here has an ability called Stealth. This is one of the key words that you'll need to know. This has Stealth while untapped, and fortunately it tells you enemies attack other characters if able. So Optimus would not be able to target Roadhugger on his first turn. He could target Megatron or Caliburst. Now, if they were all Stealth, I'm not exactly sure what the ruling is for that, but because it says enemies attack other characters if able. If you're unable to, because they all have stealth, then I guess it goes back to you can choose whoever you want. When the defender is, Optimus is attacking, when the defender declares an attack, when the defender is up, you do not have to tap the defender. They are basically just going to defend, and on their turn, they will still be able to attack. At the end of the round, when all characters are tapped, that ends the round, and you would start a new round by untapping all the tapped characters. When you are playing your attacks, you will be drawing from your deck of cards. And your deck of cards represents the augmentation to your character's base attack value and defense value. So let's just go ahead and pretend again. Optimus is going to attack. I declare it. I've tapped. And what I'd be doing is I'd be pulling in 2 cards from the top of my deck and flipping them over. And the pip colors will represent orange for attack, blue for defense. Green is for a special ability at the end of your battle, which I'll talk about in a minute. And white, when you see a white pip, if I played a white pip, that allows me to draw 2 additional cards. The first time the white pip comes out is the time that you can pull additional 2 cards. Any future white pips that you reveal, they don't provide any additional bonuses. It's just the first time that it appears. Black pips are considered pierce, and the terminology here, the keyword pierce, means that it gets through, even through the defense. If your opponent has a higher defense than your attack value, if you have a black pip, or if you have an ability that says you get pierce a number, so pierce 1 or pierce 2, that is the minimum number of damage that actually gets through, provided that you have the equivalent number of orange attack pips to support that. So for example, if your attack was 2 and your pierce was 4, you wouldn't get 4, you'd still get just 2. And I believe that's it. For the green pips, at the end of your battle, let's say this was my hand, and I drew these 2 cards during the battle. At the end of the battle, you resolve the damages, if any, and you have the option for any cards that were revealed during your battle. You have the option of reclaiming that into your hand by trading a card that's currently in your hand. So let's just say I don't want this one. I would trade that and put this into my hand. And you can do that for any of the cards with the green pip. So that's basically what it means for the pips. In this situation, when Optimus is attacking, so he has a base attack value of 4, plus the 2 orange pips that he revealed during his battle, which means he has a total of 6. Because he's an attacker, the blue doesn't do anything for him, but he gets the black, which is a pierce 1. So out of his 6 attack, 1 is guaranteed to go through. And let's just say he's attacking Megatron. So the defender would do the exact same thing, flip the top 2 cards of his deck, and as a defender, he would count up any blue pips revealed and augment his base defense, which is 3. So in this case, he has 4. So Optimus has successfully damaged Megatron with 2 hits, and they come with the starter decks come with these cheap cardboard tokens for keeping track of health. I use a dice, and it's a nice blue cosmic dice that I use, and I would represent the 2 damage. And that would be it. That would be the end of the turn. So I didn't really go through the actual turn phase yet, so let me just quickly explain that right now. You would first decide who goes first. The very first player, well, I'll just talk about a standard turn. A standard turn is when it's your turn, you draw a card. You'd start with a default hand of 3 at the beginning of the game. And on your turn, you draw a card, and you are allowed to play 1 action. You are allowed to play 1 upgrade, and you are allowed to transform transform one of your characters to its other mode. So you can't do all your characters, you can only choose one per turn. And at the end of all that, you can then choose to declare a battle in which you would tap whichever character you are attacking with and declare your defender. So on the very first turn, the very first player has a default hand of 3. That first turn, they don't draw a card. That first turn, they can't they can't attach any upgrades, and they can't play any actions. They can only attack. On the second turn that takes place, which would be the opponent, they can draw a card, and they can only play either an upgrade or an action. They can't do both, and they can also do an attack. After the first 2 turns, a regular turn resumes where both players can draw a card, they can play one action, they can play one upgrade, and they can also transform a character. You can, first 2 turns, you can also do a transformation as well. Okay, so we'll just go quickly and start a matchup here. And I get a chance to show you how the game plays. They still are selling starter decks. I've seen some local game stores. They've got leftover stock. And I'm sure that if this interests you, or if you're a huge Transformers fan like I am, that you can still go pick up a starter deck to get into the game. I've seen some booster boxes on sale for dirt cheap, and I'm sure they're trying to clear out their inventory. So if it's not for you, get it for your kids. All right, so let's just see who starts first. We'll start with, we'll see if Decepticons or Autobots, and highest roll, Autobots. So the Autobots are going to go first. We have a default hand size of 3. Same with the Decepticons. Okay, we'll put their hand right here. And Autobots go first on the very first turn. They don't draw a card. They cannot play an action or an upgrade. They can only attack. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap Private Lionizer to do an attack. You'll see that Lionizer has a 0 attack, but he has what's called Bold 4. So you flip 4 more battle cards when attacking. So your base flip when you're attacking is 2 cards. And Lionizer has an additional 4. So he'll have 6 cards in total, at least 6 cards in total. So I'm going to tap, and I choose, because my opponent, the Decepticons, do not have anybody tapped. I get to choose anybody. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose Lord Megatron. I can't choose Roadhugger because he has stealth, and I don't feel like attacking Caliburst. I want to go for the big guy. So I'm going to take my deck, and I'm going to flip out the 2 cards, the basic 2 cards. Oh, so the first one I flipped was a white, so I get to flip 2 more here. And then here's my second card. And because Lionizer has Bold 4, I flip 4 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I flipped another white pip, I don't get that draw an additional or flip an additional 2 battle cards because 1 has already appeared. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3 orange pips for 3 attack, and I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 black pips, which gives me 5 pierce, but I'm only attacking with a maximum of 3 attack. So the most I could do is pierce 3. So Megatron is going to defend. It doesn't matter because of the pierce, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyways. So he flips his base 2 cards. So his defense is 3. He gained no additional blue pips. He does have a green, which means he can pull this back at the end of the battle into his hand if he wants. So if it wasn't for Lionizer's pierce pips, Megatron would actually have defended this one. But because Lionizer has pierce 3, 3 gets through. So these cards are now in the discard pile. And Megatron, or the Decepticons, are going to take a look and see if I want to pull this one back. I will. I'm going to take this one and trade it for this. So this is going to go into my discard pile. And that ends the Autobot's turn. So now for the Decepticons, we draw a card. And I'm going to... Let's see. I forgot. I'll flip Megatron over. So I transform him. I'm allowed to transform one of my characters to their other mode. And I can play an action or an upgrade. I cannot do both. Oh, I should have done this first. That's okay. So I'm going to attach this upgrade, which is a weapon. And just, I forgot to note, when you are attaching upgrades, you can only have one upgrade type per character. So any of my characters can have a weapon upgrade, a utility upgrade, and a armor upgrade. I'm not even sure if I described that in my... Did I talk about that? I don't even remember now. So I think I missed that. My mistake, sorry about that. You have 3 different upgrades: weapon, armor, and utility. And your characters can have one of each. At any point, if I were to place this upgrade, this weapon upgrade on Megatron, and let's say I pulled another upgrade that's a weapon, and I wanted him to have it, he can't have 2, so I'd have to discard the one that he has and attach a new one. Unless you have an ability or an effect that allows you to attach more than one type of upgrade per character. So I'm going to attach this to Megatron, and here he gets, when you flip the upgraded character in another mode, I already flipped him so it's too late, it gets bold 2 until the end of turn. Bold 2 again is flipping 2 more battle cards when attacking, but this card already gives him a +1 to his attack value, which means he has a base attack of 5. Okay, so I played my upgrade, can't do anything else. I'm going to attack, and I'm going to attack with Caliburst. I'm going to tap him, and I get to choose. The only person I can choose on the Autobot side is Lionizer because he is the one that's tapped. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the Decepticon deck and flip out 2 battle cards. So, Caliburst's base attack is 3, and he did not reveal anything that helps him. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and take the Autobot deck and flip for the defense. So Lionizer's base defense is 2. He flipped 2 blue pips, which means he has a total defense of 4, and therefore he successfully blocked all of the attack from Caliburst, because Caliburst didn't get any Pierce black pips. So discard, that battle's over. Autobot's turn. We draw a card. Sorry, I think this was that card. I think I just mixed up my cards. So these are the 2. Sorry, I may have made a little mistake there, but not a problem. So for the Autobots, I'll draw a card. And let's see here. I get to play 1 action, I get to do 1 upgrade. So I'm going to play this action first, which is do 1 damage to a tapped enemy. And for each black pip that we flip, we get Pierce 1, we already know that. So I will do 1 damage to Megatron. Oh wait, he's not tapped, so it would be Caliburst. And I'm going to attach this weapon to Top Shot. When the upgraded character attacks, you scrap this card after battle. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to transform Top Shot. And I think that's it. I forgot about this ability that Optimus has for Lionizer, but that's okay. each of your other characters has bold 1 and tough 1. So tough 1 here is when you're defending, you flip an extra battle card when defending. So I'm going to go ahead and tap Top Shot. I can't use his ability because I don't have an orange pip card in my hand. And I'm going to attack. I declare my attacker as Caliburst. I have a base attack of 4. And I'm going to go ahead and flip my battle cards. Oh, so I get the white, so I get to flip 2 more. There we go. And bold 1 because of Optimus. Oh, it's not too bad. So Top Shot gets, with a base of 4, he gets 7. So that's not too bad. And now Caliburst is going to defend. And he does not get much of a defense. So that's 7 to his 1, right? So 7 to 1 is 6. So he is at 7 out of his 8 health. And once we've used this weapon, we have to scrap it, which goes in the discard pile. This goes in the discard pile. It is now the Decepticon's turn. We draw a card. We are going to go ahead and we're going to transform Megatron. When we transform him, it says when you flip to this mode, your opponent scraps a number of cards from the top of their deck equal to this character's defense total, which would be 3. So we're scrapping 3 from the top of my deck. And because of his weapon upgrade, when you flip to the upgraded character to another mode, it gets bold 2 until the end of the turn. So he gets bold 2. So I'm going to play this action, which is for each Decepticon you have on the battlefield, you can do plan 1, which is you may put 1 card from your hand on top of your deck. That's what plan 1 means. And that's for each Decepticon. I have 3 Decepticons. When one of your characters attacks this turn, if its upgrades includes at least that color combination, you can do 15 damage to an enemy. I have never been able to activate this, and it's probably because this is a casual deck. But if that ever comes across, hey, that'd be great. So here we go. I play that action. So I get to do plan 1 for each of my Decepticons. So plan 1 would be the 3. And I think I know the 2 that I would do. And I can only put this on specialists, so I don't have that. So these 2 cards I can't use. So I can't do an upgrade, but I can definitely do plan 1. And I'm going to put these 2 cards on the top of my deck. Okay. So I'm going to tap Megatron, I'm going to attack, and I'm going to attack Top Shot. I get bold 2. I had plan 1 already. So we're going to flip his base 2 cards, 1, 2. I flip the white pip, which gives me 2 more. And now I get bold 2, 1, 2. So I've flipped a second white pip, which doesn't do anything because I've already flipped a white pip before. And I've used that reveal 2 additional battle cards because of it. So in total, Megatron has a base value, attack value of 7, and plus the 2 orange, which is 9, and he has a black pip, which gives him Pierce 1. He's attacking Top Shot, so Top Shot is going to reveal his defense. He has a base defense of 1, and he has a base, an additional 1 blue pip, which gives him 2. So that 9 to 2 gives him 7. 7 is greater than his health, so he has been KO'd. We place all these back in to the discard pile. That ends the Decepticon turn. Now it's the Autobots. We draw a card. I will play... Oh. You know what? I'll do this one. So I'm going to play this action. I don't have any upgrades. I play this action for one of your characters characters gets +2 attack until the end of turn. I'll choose Optimus for this. So Optimus has +2. I'm going to transform him. So he has +2 to his 6. He has a base value, attack value of 8, and he gets bold 1 and tough 1 and focus 1. So focus 1 is a new keyword here. Before flipping battle cards, when battling, you get to look at the top of your deck. You may scrap it. So I'm going to tap Optimus for an attack. I'm attacking Megatron. I get to look at the top card of my deck, and I will choose to keep it there. So he gets bold 1, so he gets to flip 1 extra, and he has a base value of 8 attack. So there's his base 2 cards for attacking, and he gets bold 1, and that's it. So he has 10 in total. 6 plus the 2 I played, plus 2 orange pips. That's 10 with a black pip for Pierce 1. Megatron's going to defend. He has a base defense of 3. He gets nothing. He gets nothing, so that is 10 to 3, so he takes 7. So now he has a total of 10 damage out of his 17 health. So the Decepticons have the option of pulling this and trading a card, and I will. I'll take this one and put this one in my hand. So those go over there. This gets discarded. That ends the battle. Now the Decepticons get to go. They draw a card. And I forgot what his ability is. Sure. So I'm going to transform Roadhugger to his bot mode. I'm going to play this upgrade. This upgrade gives him +1 to his attack, and if I'm attacking an enemy from a different faction, which I am, I get +2. So effectively he has +3. So there we go. And now I'm going to tap him, and he has a tap ability. You'll see he has this little tap arrow, sort of a around the corner arrow. It says scrap a blue pip card from your hand. One of your characters gets +3 attack until the end of turn. So it tells you to tap. You tap this character before you attack. So I'm tapping this character before I attack. I'm discarding a blue pip card from my hand, which means I get +3. So in total, he has 3, 3, and 3. He has 9, and I'm attacking Optimus as my defender there. So we're going to go ahead and flip my battle cards. So now he has 11. 11 with Pierce 1. Optimus has a base defense of 2. Oh, he gets 5. Is that correct? Oh, and he has tough 1. So I get to flip 1 more. So 11 minus 5 is 6. So Optimus gets 6 damage. And that ends this round. The Decepticons were the last to attack, so we're going to unexhaust or untap all the characters. And the Autobots get to go now. So we're going to go here. And I'm going to play this action, which is repair 2 damage from one of your characters. I will repair 2 damage from Optimus. And I'm going to transform him. And I'm going to play this upgrade on him, which is bold 2. It gives him bold 2. This is also a unique upgrade. You'll notice that it's red, and it actually tells you that it cannot be put on Decepticons. So I'm assuming you can put it on mercenaries, but you definitely can't put it on Decepticons. So there we go. And I am tapping Lionizer to do an attack on Megatron. And because of Optimus's ability here, Lionizer has bold 5. So we're going to flip our base 2. Okay, and 5 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, and 5. So that's quite a few. He has Pierce 2, and he has a total value of 6. 6 Pierce 2 on Megatron. Megatron's going to defend. and he doesn't. So that's 6 to 3. He takes another 3. So that puts him at 7 there. So he is now at 13 out of his 17 health. That was a pretty good hit for Lionizer. All right, so we're going to draw a card for the Decepticons. We have an upgrade weapon, which I think I'll do. I will place this upgrade weapon on Caliburst. He's going to try to go out with a bang. And I'm going to transform Roadhugger. And I'm going to play this card, this action. Choose one of your characters. If it's a truck, repair 2 damage. If it's a card, draw 2 cards. I choose Roadhugger, so I draw 2 cards. And that's it. So I'm going to tap Caliburst to do an attack on Lionizer. He has a base of 5 attack. So he's going to pull his basic 2 cards. So he has 7 attack. Lionizer has a defense of 2, and he gets tough 1. So tough 1. He gets nothing. So that's 7 to 2, which is 5. That's 5. There we go. End of the battle. The Autobots get to go now. I only have 2 actions, so here we go. So we're going to play a secret action. So I'm going to play my secret action here. You reveal it when one of your characters is defending. So I'll leave that there. I'm going to transform Optimus, and I'm going to attack with him. He gets bold 1 and focus 1. So I'm going to take a look at the top card here, and I'm going to scrap it because it has a blue pip. It's useless to me. I'm choosing to attack, well, Caliburst is my only option. And he gets bold 3. So here we go. Here's his base 2, and then I get bold 3. 1, 2, 3. So I have a total of 8 with Pierce 1. Caliburst is going to defend with his 1. And that's it. So 8 to 2 is 6. He is KO'd. At any time, if your deck runs out of cards, you can reshuffle. Okay, Decepticons. Draw a card. And we're going to play... Let's try to go with this one. We're going to play this action. One of your characters gets +3 until the end of turn. I choose Megatron to get +3. So now Megatron has 10. And he's going to transform. So he can grab bolt 2 out of that. There we go. And I can't play an upgrade. Or can I? Oh, I can. Sure, so I'm going to play this. This is an armor upgrade. When you put this on a ranged character, which Megatron is, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and scraps it. So I play this upgrade, and I only have 1 card in my hand, so I have to scrap it. And now Megatron is going to attack. So he has a total now of 7, 8. He has a total of 8 with bold 2. Okay. So we're attacking Optimus, who has tough 1 and focus 1. So we're going to take a look here, and I'm going to scrap that. And here we go. I get 1, 2. I think I missed bold 2 out of Optimus that last time. That's okay. So I have to flip 2 more and 1 more here. Okay, so in total I have 4 defense. I forgot to flip Megatron, so here we go. 1, 2, and he gets bold 2. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2. There we go. So Megatron has a total of 5, 6, 7. 7 pierce 2. So 7 to Optimus's 4 is 3, so Optimus is at 7. And I forgot to do that, but I have to reveal this. I get to draw 2 cards. So I forgot that. That's my fault. This gets discarded. But this would have been draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on the top of your deck. I don't think that would have made a huge difference given what I have here. So we will just go ahead and do that. And that goes into here. So you'll see that I don't have any Autobots left to attack with. So this isn't considered another turn. This is considered a continuation of the Decepticon turn, in which case he can attack again. He can't play any cards, can't play any actions, but he can attack again, and he can't transform. So we're just going to go ahead and attack with Roadhugger, who has 6 attack value, and he's going to get 8 with Pierce 1, and we're attacking Optimus. So Optimus gets to do Focus 1, and I will. So I flip 1. I now have to shuffle my cards for the Autobots. And Megatron has an ability that says when your opponent reshuffles their deck, they choose one of their characters and do damage to it equal to this character's attack value, attack total. So it's 5. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place all that damage on Lionizer, which will KO him. Okay, so I've shuffled my deck. And I KO Lionizer, but he transforms into a weapon, and I will replace the weapon that I have on Optimus with that weapon. And I continue my defense, which is 2, so it's a total of 4. So that is 8 to 4, so that's another 4, which is 5 on him. So he's 11 out of his 14. Not looking good. Okay, so that ends the round. Everyone untaps. And we draw a card for the Autobots. This is another secret action. Hopefully I will remember this one. I'm going to tap Optimus. I get Focus 1, Plan 1, but I don't have any cards in my hand. And I get Bold 5. So I'm going to tap and attack Megatron. So I'm hoping I can take him out. So I get Focus 1, I get to take a look at the 1. I will keep that. So here we go. Here's my second card. And now I get Bold 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Pierce 2 on Megatron. Megatron has a base defense of 3. And he doesn't have any tough, so that's it. So 10 to 3, that's 7. And that 7 gives that to 20. So Megatron is KO'd. All right. All that's left is Roadhugger. Roadhugger draws a card. So we're going to play this action, which is your opponent chooses one of their characters and does 1 damage to it. If your starting team was only Decepticons, your opponent does 1 more damage to it. So I do 2 damage to Optimus because he's my only one, so that's 12, 13. So 13 out of the 14 health. Roadhugger is going to, let's see, do I have a battle card that has that? I do. I'm going to transform Roadhugger, and I'm going to tap him to attack. He has 6, but with his ability, I scrap this card for an additional 3, so that's 9. That's 9 to Optimus, and I'm going to finally remember to secret reveal. Oh, not yet, but very soon. So he's going to attack. Here we go. 1, 2. So Pierce 1. So he has 9 Pierce 1, and Optimus, and he gets Tough 1. Okay, so Optimus only has 2. So his defensive 2. So 9 to 2 is 7. This would clearly KO Optimus, but I reveal my secret action. If one of your Autobots would take enough attack damage to be KO'd, instead you reveal this. Instead, that character takes enough attack damage to be at 1 health, then put this into your KO area. So Optimus is at 1 health left, so he actually survives. Wow. Okay, so that's the end of the round. Roadhugger untaps, so does Optimus, and the last attacker was the Decepticons, so Optimus is going to draw a card. I'm not going to play that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attack with Optimus. I get Plan 1, Focus 1. So I think what I'll do first is I'll do Focus 1, and I'm going to discard that. And then I'm doing Plan 1, which is I'm going to put this on top of my deck. And I get Bold 5. So I do my base 2 cards. Okay, there we go. And now I get Bold 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if that's enough. So that is 10. 10 Pierce 3 on Roadhuggers 1. Let's see. Did the tables turn here? Because it wasn't looking good for the Autobots. All right. So 10 to 2 is 8. 8 is enough, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 2. So Optimus's 10 attack to Roadhugger's 2 defense gives him 8 damage, and that is greater than his 7 health. So Roadhugger is KO'd. And Optimus wins the battle by the skin of his teeth. So there you go. I made a couple mistakes. Not a huge problem, but you see the general gameplay of Transformers TCG. I enjoy playing this game with my nephews. It's very easy to teach, very easy to play, not a lot of complex rules. The most you have to remember are some of the terminologies: bold, tough, focus, stealth. But fortunately, what I really like about this is that you don't have to make any reference to rules. It's all on the cards. They've managed to fit the information on the cards. So I'm a big Transformers fan, and I think this card game fits well for anybody who loves Transformers or grew up in the 80s with Transformers. So the other Transformers game that I'm actually looking to get is the Transformers deck building game, which I love deck builders. I love Transformers. Sounds like a good matchup for me. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay bored.